Hey everybody, welcome to We're All Geeks, your home for all the video game news and convention updates. But before we get to your convention updates, I'm just going to call it Con Watch at this point.
Sure, yeah, let's do this.
Con Watch. Before we get to Con Watch, let's discuss what happened just today as of recording, and that is the Animal Crossing Nintendo Direct. Felipe, this is a game that you were suddenly interested in.
Well, yeah, so I've never played Animal Crossing before.
Okay.
I've seen enough people talk about it. It's a very well-loved series. But, you know, since I had never played Fire Emblem before.
Right.
And I've always heard about it. And then I picked up the Fire Emblem Three Houses and really, really liked it. I'm kind of going in with that same mindset of,
This
who knows,
could be
maybe
good.
This could be really good. A lot of people really love this series, so I want to try it. Yeah, they had their direct, like a 30-minute long video or so. They show a lot of stuff that we had already seen, and they show some new stuff. You know, I'm interested because, one, it doesn't seem like it's the type of game that I would play, because you just kind of do whatever, you know, like you're in a little island, you build it to look how you want it to, like you can invite other residents to come join you in the islands. There's multiplayer and stuff like that, but there's no end game. There's no, like, you play just to play. Like
I would say it's the ultimate end game in that it is all end game.
Right. You're doing the thing.
You don't beat Animal Crossing.
Yeah, you're just there to, like, chill, catch some bugs, build your house, pay off Tom Nook before he breaks your legs, you know, because...
I mean, that's not true. Tom Nook is a very, very nice little raccoon who...
He's always willing to give you a loan. He's always
willing to...
You want to give him a house? Here's a loan.
It's an interest-free loan that you can pay back
whenever you want.
When you want. All right? I would love that kind of loan.
Right? Oh, my gosh, please. But, you know, it's one of those where you can kind of do whatever, you know, so... I think what they showed today that got me excited was you can literally, like, terraform. Like, if you don't like the way that the island looks, if you don't like the way that the little stream goes this way, like, you can just move it, you can add this, you can remove this, and you know, I've seen these Animal Crossing characters, you know, through amiibos and stuff like that. They talked about how you know, if you have the Animal Crossing amiibos, you can use them. They'll work on this game. And I have a lot of them myself just because I think they're cool characters. I don't know. It's one of those things where I just want to... It might be nice to just have like a relaxing game that you can just turn on, play for a bit. You know, don't feel like you need to put in a ton of time, but you can if you want to, but feel like you've accomplished something because, like, you know, I went in, fish a little bit, you know, organize this and blah, 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 and kind of went from there. They're going to have, you know, different seasons in the game. They're going to have different, like, timed events where they talked about as soon as the game launches in April, there's like an Easter bunny day thing, they called it. They showed stickers for upcoming events like Halloween and probably Christmas, and I can only imagine all the standard ones that you would think a game like that would have. So I don't know, it's just I'm excited for it because it could be, let me put it this way, I haven't played Animal Crossing. Okay. So if this game comes out and it's trash and I hate it or whatever, nothing in my life's going to change. Now if I play this game and it turns out that I really like it, now I have another series of games that, kind of like Fire Emblem. I played this Fire Emblem, loved it, and now I'm like, oh man, I should go back and play all these other ones. Granted, apparently they're not as good as this one, and some of them are a little different, but still, I don't know. It kind of got me excited. My one thing though, and again, I don't have any knowledge, but I wish you could make like an animal person and not just like a human. Also, why is it like that? Why is it that you're the only human and then everyone else is like animals? Is there some like deep lore behind Animal Crossing that I should know about? But you just want to hang out with animals? Are you like in a dream state? Can't I just be a furry? Like, come on. So,
I do not have the answers to those questions. My history with Animal Crossing is very limited. I played a little bit of the GameCube one. I think I rented it from Blockbuster, rest in peace. And I have very limited. It was definitely not what I wanted to play. What little, I don't know, maybe 12-year-old Kenny, whenever the GameCube was out and I was running around, that's not what I wanted to play at the time.
Yeah.
So, not my thing. I could go back to it. It looked decent on the Animal Crossing Direct today. One of the things that kind of bugged me is like, and coming soon we're gonna have the museum and we're gonna have this and that were in other Animal Crossings before. It feels like the one that we're getting right now might be a little bit bare in comparison.
Yeah, I mean, see, but that's the thing is they're marketing this at first as like you go into a deserted island, and someone should tell them that, hey, when it's a deserted island, that means there's nothing else there. And they're like, here, you go to this deserted island. There's like other houses and infrastructure, and also there's other citizens. Like, do you not know what a deserted island means? They could have just called it island. You go to just an island escape, and you're just there. But anyways, with that, it just makes it sound like, so when those things come, do I have to make room in my island for it? And what they've shown, like the little map, it doesn't look that big. So I don't know if they're just adding another, like, here's your section, and you do whatever you want here, and then we're going to add another, section to it, and you can add the museum. Because that's the thing that you do with those, like the museum and like the zoo, some zoo-looking thing, right, or aquarium that they had on the Direct, where my limited knowledge of Animal Crossing is like, let's say you go out and you catch bugs and you can sell them, but you can also like take it to the museum or take it to these places and so they'll keep them there for you. So there was a part in the museum where there's like all these butterflies and all these things, like that makes me think that it's you that caught all of that and you put it over there. There's also some like dinosaur bones and stuff like that, but it doesn't look like the skeleton is finished. Again, you probably finding that and building it up. So, that's the, type of game it is. I'm looking forward to try it, but I'm pretty sure like most people already know, like if you're into Animal Crossing, this looks like just going to be another one of those. If you're not super into it, I don't know how new people get into these games, but I'm going to try. So
I mean, I think I discussed this before, but that's going to be an interesting late night launch at the game stores because it's the same day as Doom.
Yeah. So
like that's going to be weird. The Venn diagram of who's it's like who's picking up Animal Crossing and who's picking up Doom, and then there's a small portion there
picking up both.
That'll pick up both, and it's just going to be so interesting. I'm going to pick up my copy of Doom probably launch day. The thing about Animal Crossing is as good and interesting as it looks right now to me, it's just there's gonna be so much more content that they're already promising that you don't have to pay for, that there will be a more complete finished game in a few months, in my opinion. That being said, that also means that you're going to have a reason to keep coming back to it. It's going to be much more evergreen for people as well. And I mean, I could have said that about Mortal Kombat before it came out. That, man, I knew we were going to have characters before it launched. I knew we were getting 9 characters, and I don't think we knew exactly who until I think after Nightwolf was released, maybe. Like, I don't think we knew the full roster yet. But yeah, so also, it could go down in price. It's Nintendo, so it won't, but it could, and that's also there with me. Like, man, I could either play Doom on launch day, or I could play Animal Crossing on launch day. I'm gonna play Doom. I want to go kill some demons.
I want to as well. I'm wondering if it's gonna be the same thing that happened because Wolfenstein and Fire Emblem Three Houses came out.
That's right, Youngblood.
They came out together basically, or like a couple days apart or something.
You said Wolfenstein, and that
Wolfenstein Youngblood.
That reminded me of when Wolfenstein 2, Assassin's Creed Origins,
I don't remember.
and Mario Odyssey.
all came out.
All came
same
out the same day.
Wow,
And
that's crazy.
That I remember that day. I was working at a game store at that point. Man, that was a day. You want to talk about a Venn diagram?
Right?
Assassin's Creed.
I just hope that it's not like that, where it's like I'm really excited for one, it turns out the other one is really, really good. But I mean, Doom from everything that we've seen, Doom looks fantastic. I'm super excited for Doom as well. But Doom is one of those where it's like between both of them, I'm not a huge multiplayer guy, never have been. So Doom is a game that I can get, I can finish, and I can be done, and that's it.
That's
Animal Crossing is like, hey, I can kind of always come back to it. So.
Doom is not going to be as evergreen, it seems like. I don't know if they have DLC announced for that off the top of my head.
Honestly, I don't play DLC. Like, it's really hard for me to go back to a game after, like, I play it and then I'm done with it. Like Division 2, super cheap nowadays. If you don't have Division 2,
I think it's on sale on PSN for like $5 on PSN, Xbox Live.
Super
Steam,
cheap. It's definitely worth $5 as someone who paid like $120 for their like Ultimate Edition or something. It's definitely worth $5 because they're having that like Warlords of New York expansion thing coming out. And I've been thinking about doing that, but it's like there's so many other games to play. It's hard to come back to. So
we'll see.
You know, we shall see indeed. But yeah, so that was kind of the big thing that happened today. Was just that. So there's other things that happen.
There are other things that happen, and that brings us to ConWatch 2020.
That's right.
So the latest news from ConWatch 2020 for once does not have to do with E3.
Right.
It has to do with PAX East, and it's PAX East, it's GDC, Sony, and Facebook Oculus. So we'll start with yesterday. It comes out that Sony has decided they do not want to go to PAX East due to the coronavirus. It basically boiled down to they don't want to have to bring all their team out and risk safety and health.
Okay.
And this has been divisive on the internet, as of course it is, because there were they were bringing like The Last of Us 2, Final Fantasy VII remake, like they were bringing heavy hitting games with them to PAX East. That this was the first time the public was going to get a shot at The Last of Us 2. Like, as far as I recall, they only had The Last of Us 2 for that media event where they announced the original February release date, which we would be talking about The Last of Us 2 right now if that didn't get pushed. But also, thank God it got pushed. But by all accounts, like, everything was done and ready to go. Like, they were ready to be at PAX East, have their huge presence. Like, the booth space was paid for, people were paid, and like they were ready to go. And then this was a legitimate call that, hey, we don't want to risk health to be.
But it's so weird. Like we talked a little bit about this before the show, where, you know, I asked you, like, okay, I can appreciate like safety concerns, and it's like, hey, I don't want to do this, but you know, we had you looked up like how many
and it was 15 confirmed cases, but the here I believe I still have the CDC's site up here somewhere. But it's 15. The CDC's report, it also has the asterisk that cumulative since January 21st, 2020. But also it says the article was updated February 19, 2020. So it's mixed messaging here. But yes, they've tested 479 people, 15 positive, 412 negative, and 52 pending. So,
but even if those 52 all come back positive, that's still less than 100 people in the United States.
I think it has to do with just going through the airports in general. Airports with people from coming all over the world, and that virus possibly spreading pretty crazily. Because, I mean...
Well, I get that. But the thing is, you know, we talked about this also, how there isn't a... I mean, it's a pretty serious thing that's going on right now. You know, I'm not trying to minimize it. But there hasn't been that many cases even worldwide. Most of it, we just talked about how many there were in the United States. So if that was really a concern, it's like going through through security, no one's stopping them from like wearing masks or, having hand sanitizer with them and whatever, if that's really a concern, because there hasn't been that many. Because if this was an actual, like a real concern for a lot of companies, like PAX would have been canceled. Like you wouldn't have these places where a ton of people are coming from all over, So I just, it's up to them, of course. And if they decide, like, you know what, it's just not worth it for us to even try to risk it, I think, understand it more if their cases have been, in the couple hundreds and the 500s, or if a lot of it had been around the area that PAX is, and they're like, okay, you know what, we're just not going to go, versus 15 actual cases, confirmed cases in the United States. So...
the worldwide numbers, there have been 76,723 coronavirus cases, or COVID-19 is the new official label for it, but we're going to just use coronavirus because that's easier. 2,247 deaths, 18,524 recovered, which means we still have 55,952 with infections. 43,000 are in mild condition, 12,000 in serious or critical, and this is according to worldometer .info. So trust this is just a quick Google trying to find an actual number.
But still, it's like, even though there's been that many cases, like in the United States, there really hasn't. So
16 is the number according to Worldometer for coronavirus. It's went up 1.
Yeah. So again, I get it. It's a scary situation, especially where a thing like that doesn't have a vaccine, and you can potentially be fatal and all this other stuff. So I don't know. I just think it's kind of. It's weird. I don't know how to feel about this, because there isn't that many cases, and they're decided to, hey, we're just not going to go to this major event.
Yeah, so that's PAX East. PlayStation today also said that they're not going to go to GDC. Also, Facebook Oculus has decided not to go to GDC as well. Facebook Oculus, I don't want to say they're not bringing people from other countries. Mm-hmm. Facebook, and I don't know where Oculus itself is based. Facebook is based in Palo Alto. They can't drive to San Francisco.
They don't want to.
That's fine. But that's what just struck me. If I was gonna say anything, like, that's just strange.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get Sony. They have to go through so many different airports probably to get people from Japan to here. In addition to, you just don't want to be in airports right now. Like, I get that. I totally understand. I'm not mad at him at all or anything.
I'm not mad at it either. It's just, I don't know. It's a little.
It's very clear that they don't have an ulterior motive with it, because they, like I said, they paid for the booth. They usually, from all accounts that I've seen, they usually have one of the biggest booths, if not the biggest booth in the building, for PAX East. So that's just.
Well, but here's the crazy thing. It's like, they have that already, right? So it's not like they could just as easily send the file over to a local person and, like, here's the build of the game, and they have everything there, and there's people already by the area. I'm sure they have, reps all over, every single state, where they can just like, this is us, and boom, here you go. Play, Last of Us 2. I don't know. I just think it's kind of weird, but hey, I guess we'll just wait until they back out of E3. Oh, wait.
Oh, wait. But yeah, so that's it for ConWatch 2020, this rendition. Tune in next time where there will be another edition of ConWatch 2020.
We'll see who else is backing out.
Because it's the ConWatch has seriously been like the most fascinating thing to me.
Yeah, it's so weird.
It's so interesting. Every week there's something happening to the cons. So we will keep you posted with all the con updates possible. Keep it locked here to We're All Geeks.
Mm-hmm.
But now it is time for what we have been playing, and we have specifically not talked about what we have been playing. I have not talked to him about it because I have just a touch of shame, and I don't know why Felipe hasn't. Felipe, let's start with you. What
me? Okay, fine.
Do you want me to go?
I'll start.
All right.
It's fine. I've been playing, and I have finished, as of last night, Darksiders Genesis. Not bad.
Not bad?
I'll start with that.
Okay, so back up.
Mm-hmm.
Darksiders typically a hack and slash type thing. This one, more of a top-down dungeon crawler, right?
Yeah. So I've played all the Darksiders games. Really liked Darksiders. Before Zelda Breath of the Wild came out, the first Darksiders had come out, and a lot of people were like, this is what an adult Zelda would be. You know, it's the same. You go into a dungeon, boom, 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 you kill the final boss in the dungeon, you unlock double jump or whatever, and now that opens up other sections of the map for you to know. Keep exploring, then you kill another boss and you get another ability. Very similar to that Zelda style, like you go into a thing before Breath of the Wild came out. And then Darksiders 2, same thing. Darksiders 3, they kind of changed it up a little bit. It was a little more like Dark Souls-y, where like if you died, you drop your souls, you have to go back to a guy to like level up and all this other stuff. Anyways, so this is the fourth Darksiders game. It is a prequel, so it takes place before the first one. And you play as Strife, who's the last of the four horsemen. He's never been playable in any game before, and then War. So you have both of them at the same time, and you just hit a button and it just switches. Strife has dual-wields guns, and so he's a ranged character, and then War is just regular War melee character. It is more of a dungeon crawler. It looks more like a Diablo-style game with the camera looking down. There's no items that drop. What drops is when you kill the enemies, they drop their soul, and then when you pick it up, it does something, and you have a big old kind of a skill tree, basically, that it has different matching types. So like on the skill tree, you say like this is an attack, soul, health one, or a wrath one, and then you kill the skeleton and he drops an attack soul. So if you match it with an attack slot, then you get a matching bonus, so you get more out of it. And basically the way that it works is every single soul does something different. So it can be something as easy as, or as simple as, increases your attack power by 5%, or increases your health, or increases your duration of this skill, or whatever. But some of them have, when you use this, there's like a clone ability that Strife has. It's like when you use this ability, it spawns a second clone. So it can kind of change up the gameplay. And then the souls themselves, as more enemies drop them and you keep picking them up, they level up. So they have different levels to themselves. So there's quite a lot when it comes to that. So you can kind of make your build in a sense. It was a fairly long game. I think it took me like 13 or 14 hours to finish it. Just one playthrough, just plain on normal. There's still quite a few collectibles that I've missed. The story was kind of whatever, I hate to say it. I do have two major gripes with this game.
Okay, tell me what's wrong with this game.
Well, okay, so, and this might be just a PlayStation only thing, at least for one of them, this first thing, because it's been out on PC for a few months.
Yes, this is not technically a new game.
Yeah, so, but when you go, there's like your little home base that you go, and it's like in this void, and when the characters are there, it's supposed to have, when the characters are talking, they add this filter to their voice where it's supposed to have like some like reverb or some like kind of echoey, but it's so pronounced and so loud that when a character is talking more than just a couple words, it's impossible to just hear what they're saying, because by the time they're moving on to like the third or fourth words, it's still reverbing from like the second or third. And so I'm like, what? I have to just read it all and then skip, read it all and skip, because it's so distracting. I watched a couple videos for like PC, and it doesn't appear to be like that on the PC. So I don't know what the deal is, but that's a minor thing. The other thing that I have a major problem with on a video game that came out in 2020 is that
2020, the year of our Lord.
The year of our Lord 2020 is that you do not, as a character, you don't appear on the mini-map when you open the mini-map.
What?
So I have no freaking clue where I'm at when I open up the mini-map, and I'm trying to I have to use landmarks or collectibles which show on the mini-map, and then when you pick them up, they check them off. And so I have to be like, okay, I open up the thing, there's a little coin there for me to pick up, and then I collect it, and then I open the map again, and now it's checked off. Like, okay, so I am here. But it's too often I'm like looking for this collectible, and I'm running around, and I open up the map, and I'm like,
that couldn't be a design choice.
I don't know. No, I mean
they couldn't have intentionally said, "Hey, let's confuse the player," right?
But why?
I'm not saying that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't. It's like to add a challenge that does not make any damn sense.
I went online and looked up is there an option? Am I doing something wrong? Every video that I've seen, even from the PC version, it's just like that. You can't tell where you are in the mini-map. Now, the map, thankfully, highlights where you are. So, it breaks the map down into sections, but it's not small sections. It's some big sections of the map. And so then when you go from one section to the next, and then, it's highlighted, showing that, you're in this section now. But you don't know if you're in the middle of it, if you're about to cross over from the other one. You have to use landmarks all the time to see kind of where you're at. And I could not believe the entire time that I was playing this game, and I'm like, why is it like this? Mm-hmm. Why is it every single video game that has a mini map, hell, any video game that has a map shows you where you are on the map.
Right.
This is the only video game I can think of that you open up the map and it doesn't tell you, oh, this is where you are right here. Unbelievable. And it's so frustrating, because you're trying to do these collectibles, and I'm walking around, I'm like, wait, it's not here. It's on the other side of this, because there's this thing here and blah, blah, blah. And the map is just a flat thing. Right. There's some topography on it. So there's see if there's a set of stairs that goes this way, sometimes on the map you will show little lines for stairs going up. But if sometimes it doesn't have that, and it's just a flat thing, and I'm like, I guess I'm over here. I'm not sure. Yeah, I hope that they patch that or something. I literally should put up a video to show this is, I don't know where I'm at.
This is the life I'm living right now.
Yeah.
My God.
But it was fun. Combat's kind of fun. You have different abilities and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. It's just it's all level based. So it's not like the map changes up. You finish up a mission, it kicks you back to the main place, and you can always replay missions. There's an arena, so if you just do the combats and stuff like that. You earn souls when you kill enemies. You go back to a vendor and you buy upgrades to your character, like extra health or an extra jump, and more potion uses and blah blah blah. So it was fun. I actually kind of enjoyed it. So I'm going back. Got to replay it to finish up some stuff, and maybe I'll do that platinum. So my road to 100 continues.
One day you'll get there.
Hopefully soon.
I believe in you, my chief trophy officer.
Yeah, so tell me about your shame.
Okay, well, I should be playing another game that I'm wearing a shirt that's themed around that game.
You should definitely finish Persona.
I should.
For show.
Let me take you on a trek. Let me tell you a tale.
Oh, boy.
Monday, President's Day.
Uh-huh.
I ventured to a movie theater.
Okay.
seen a little movie. He's too big for us. He didn't want to show up this week. Starring Sonic the Hedgehog.
All right.
Monday, get home from Sonic the Hedgehog. I decide, you know what I'm going to do.
Are you going to play Sonic?
Oh, I played Sonic. First, I played Sonic and Knuckles.
Okay.
It's a good game.
It's a good game.
It's a good game.
Yeah.
It's not what I'm ashamed of playing.
Okay, yeah.
Went back to a little game. Came out back when there was a system out called the Sega Dreamcast. I am playing Sonic Adventure. Well, here's my shame. I beat this game. Last time I beat this game was 10 years ago. And I beat this game when I was a kid. I know I beat it 10 years ago because I have my achievements on my Xbox from when I beat it 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm a little bit ashamed.
Playing a game I've already played instead of the game
I have
you need
beaten
to play
multiple times.
Yeah.
Because I seen the Sonic movie and decided I needed to play the Sonic game. By the way, did you know that game does not hold up that well? Would you be surprised for me to tell you that
game that came out
in the 90s, I think?
Wait, no, not the Sonic Adventures.
Dreamcast. When was Dreamcast? Was that 2000?
No, Dreamcast was 99.99.
That's right, and this was the launch title with the Sega Dreamcast.
20 years ago.
Yes. So 20 years ago. We're coming up on 21. So
you're telling me that a game that's 20 years old. Let me rephrase it because I'm gonna stop myself here. You're telling me that a 3D polygonal game from 20 years ago, because that's a very specific distinction. Because you give me like Super Mario World, and that game holds up, but because it's not 3D. Although anyways, I'm getting distracted. But you telling me a game like that doesn't hold up?
Yeah. I
Shocking.
know. Surprising, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting back into the feel of things, but that first level is rough. Like and not just like the first boss that you fight as Sonic, where it opens and you're fighting chaos. I mean, the first level after Tails crashes. By the way, the acting in this game is just it's worse than the actual movie.
It's
like
20 years ago.
Like Sonic, like whoa, that just happened. Like things like that.
I mean, that game is 20 years old, so
but
we'll give him a pass on that.
Anyways, I'm getting close to finishing Sonic's story. I'm on my way to the egg carrier, so I'm probably about halfway-ish to finishing Sonic's story, and then I'm gonna finish. I might finish everyone else's to get the true ending, because last time I beat it was on my 360. But it didn't carry my data over to the one, so if I want to go Super Sonic and beat the actual true ending, I need to do every goddamn thing again. So,
I mean, it's not like you have any other games you should be playing.
It's not like I have a deadline to beat a game before the remake of that game comes out.
No big deal.
That's nothing. But yeah, man, I really wish I had a remake of Sonic Adventure. So the first level, there's a point where you're going down to your first, I think it's the first loop, if not the second. And there's a curve, and if you slow down even just a little bit on that curve, you fall through the level.
Fun.
Yeah. I lost all my lives trying to do just that. So there's that. But I'm getting the hang of it again. I'm getting the hang of having to use triggers to rotate the camera, because that was literally killing me in the game of trying to use the right stick and then it just going into first person mode, because that's what games did in 1999.
We didn't know any better. So
nope. We had no idea that it could get better than this, and it could have.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then there's the points where the camera just decides it's stationary and you can't move it, which would have helped on aforementioned curve. You know, it's definitely a product of its time, and I'm playing it.
Whatever. I remember loving it. I remember going to EB Games.
EB Games.
And seeing like a demo station for it before the Dreamcast came out and playing, being like, this is the future. We're living in the future.
We're living in the future.
I got me a Dreamcast launch day. I got that.
I made fun of the acting earlier. It just seems a lot more campy now, I should say, and that's totally fine. I still like this game. It's still not half bad. It could use a remaster, and I know Adventure is probably... It's not the most crapped on Sonic, because we've also got Sonic the Werewolf and Sonic kissing a human girl.
That's right.
Like we've gotten worse Sonic games with worse moments. We also had Shadow the Hedgehog running around with guns.
Yeah.
Like we've gotten some things.
Sonic.
We've seen some things. It's no Sonic Mania. It's no Sonic 2.
Sonic movie before they changed his look. We've seen some stuff.
Ooh,
hey, you want to talk about the movie? I haven't seen the movie. How's
Let's
the
talk.
movie?
We'll touch on the movie. It's good.
Yeah, I want to watch it.
It's good. It's good. You have to have at least some connection to Sonic to really enjoy it, I think, or be a child, because it's really good.
I'm both.
It's a really good family movie for sure. And I don't know. I personally don't know how much you love it if you're not like a Sonic fan. If you don't have at some point have sat down and tried to beat Sonic and like know that what made Sonic so much better than Mario, and I will die on this goddamn hill that Sonic is a better character than Mario, because he's a character and Mario is just a plumber. He's just a plumber with a mustache. Like you can change his name and you can change that character completely, and you wouldn't, like, his appearance and everything, you wouldn't know it. Luigi has more character than Mario. Yeah, Luigi's kind of like at least a lovable loser, and Mario just wins and has the affection of a princess somehow. Like Mario doesn't have any character. Sonic has character. Sonic was the one where if
attitude.
Yes, he has an attitude. He has a character. He's the one that when you're not pushing buttons.
When you're idle.
Yeah, you're idle. He starts tapping his foot, looking at his watch, like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
He's the one that had a cool score in his games. Mario doesn't have a cool score. I will die on the hill that Sonic the Hedgehog is a better character.
This is some 90s ass discussion here.
Oh, yes, it is. Oh, yes, it is. And that's why I love the movie, because the attitude is there. The personality is there. It changes his background quite a bit. Like, entirely.
Gun to my head, I have no idea what Sonic's background is. So.
Well, I mean, Sonic's background is just he's a blue hedgehog and he's got to go fast.
Yeah.
In the movie, he's an alien.
Well, yeah, of course.
He doesn't live he was born amongst other, like, animals and stuff, and he has this great speed, and he gets sent to our world because he has this great speed, and he lives in our world for years and years.
I'll have to watch this movie.
Like, it's not a bad movie, but it's like that's not what Sonic always lived in, a world where there was kind of one human, and it was Eggman, and he's a douche. Here, Eggman is shit. He's not part of the dominant species where they're of not human. So it's interesting that they changed that stuff and that he's the only one of his kind. It's in his world, it's not weird to see a talking hedgehog. It's weird to see a talking hedgehog in ours.
A little bit, yeah.
Let alone one that says meow the first time he's confronted. Meow?
Crikey.
Anyways, have you went and seen the Sonic the Hedgehog movie? Have you played Sonic Adventure lately?
Lately? No. Don't do that.
Or do and share your comments with me on it. I might pop in Sonic Adventure 2.
Sure.
I have
whatever.
it.
Just go crazy.
I've got it, man. I've got it. Have you played Darksiders Genesis on either consoles or PC? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and yeah. And we love you. Please come back and watch us again. Goodbye.